Hello dear students, welcome. In our previous class we had learned science, that is a common subject. But in class 9 this science is split into three subjects: biology, physics and chemistry. And we are going to begin our biology in this session. What do you mean by biology? Let us understand the term biology. Biology means it is the study of living organism. If you split the term bio and logy, bio means living, logy means to study. So it is a study of living organisms. And this biology provides us various interesting things in this subject. So we are going to learn more interesting things in the biology. Let's begin the biology first. So first thing is, we said it is study of living organism. When we say it is study of living organism, what do you mean by life? What is required for the life? So what is the fundamental thing that is required for the life? So we are going to learn in this. Let us understand the term fundamental. Fundamental means something that is basic, that is very important, or that is very crucial. So without which there is nothing. So that is fundamental. If you take the example here, on the left there is a bicycle without wheels, on the right there is bicycle with the wheels. And on the left, this bicycle does not make a meaning because it does not help in the cycling. Whereas on the right, this bicycle is ready for the cycling, which means that these wheels are very fundamental. These wheels are providing the capacity for the cycling to this bicycle. So that's how there is fundamental thing even required for our life. So what is that fundamental unit of our life? So where do this unit of this life has come from? So just like the wheels are fundamental to bicycle, our fundamental unit of life is cell. So cell is the fundamental unit of life. So on this planet Earth, where the life has started millions of years ago. Millions of years ago, the life has started, and the first life, it is considered it is only made up of cell. So before that, anything less than cell cannot make the life. So it is minimum requirement is cell to make the life. That's how it is fundamental unit of life. But how do we know about cell? Who told us about the cell? And who discovered the cell? We are going to learn this further. So it is understood by Robert Hooke. Robert Hooke was a scientist in 1665. He was very keen to understand this, and he was learning the nature, and he was trying to see the things in a magnified view, which means just like you have the magnifying glass, you try to go near and you try to see in a closed magnified view, in the closed magnified view. Robert Hooke was also very interested to see the things in a magnified view. So he has taken a bark and he had designed his own microscope. Just like this magnifying glass, this microscope helps in viewing things very close by. To see the things in a magnified view, this microscope is helpful. So he had developed his own microscope to see the things in a magnified view. So he has taken the cork from the tree bark, the tree from the outer side, he has taken the small bark and he has placed that under the microscope. And when he found this bark under the microscope, he saw something like these compartments. You can see there he has painted what he has seen. So when he painted this, he has found something like compartments. So these compartments reminded him. On seeing this, he thought that these are looking like the honeycomb. In the honeycomb also they are having the little small compartments, and this made him to think about the monastery cells. Actually, the monks who are there in this monastery, they live in small rooms, and these small rooms, they are called as cells. These cells in the monastery is the basis for he naming into the cell. So based on seeing these, based on his idea of what is monastery cell, he named these small compartments as cells. So that's how Robert Hooke coined the term cells. So cell is a Latin word which means it is a little room. So cell is given by the Robert Hooke. But how do we understood cell? How do we understand cell further? Before understanding this, we are going to learn about microscope. So micro means small, micro means small or tiny, scope means to see, means microscope is helping us to see the smallest things. So it helps in seeing the smallest things by magnifying. So there are two microscopes here. One is simple microscope. There is another one is compound microscope. If you see here, very important parts that we are going to see is eyepiece, where there is a lens and there is a stage where we keep the sample here and we see through the eyepiece to see the things in close in a magnified manner. That's how we are able to see the smallest things. Advanced one is compound microscope, that is advanced than this simple microscope, and this has set of lens. There are set of lens here and they help in viewing the things. We have to keep the specimen here and we can see the things in a magnified manner with this microscope. So these microscopes, they are helping to see the things in a detailed and magnified manner. But as the advancement is happening, we are having extremely advanced microscopes. We are going to learn about that in some time. But do all organisms are made up of cells, or we're all made up of cells? Let us understand this by an activity. So where we are going to take onion and we are going to peel off the onion. The convex side of this onion, we are going to peel it off a single layer and we are going to place it on the glass slide. This is called as a glass slide, and on this glass slide we are placing the peel of the onion, and we are going to put one or two drops to keep it wet so that it does not dry. And since it is transparent, we need to see it under microscope, so we need to stain this. Staining is giving colors to see under microscope, so we are staining this by using the iodine. Iodine is used for the staining. Other than iodine, there are safranin and there are methylene blue. These are all used for staining. When we stain, we can see the things under microscope very clearly. So after staining, this is placed under the microscope, and this microscope is compound microscope that we also have in our lab, and we are going to place the sample, the onion peel here. We are going to keep this glass slide with the onion peel here, and we are going to observe under microscope. As we observe, we find something like this. We find these are like some bricks. There are like bricks. You might have seen the newly built buildings. They are also made up of brick. Every building is made up of bricks, and these bricks are laid one over the other to make the building. Same way, here also they are having the cells which are arranged one over the other to make the organism. So this onion is entirely made up of small units like this. Small units like this, they are cells. So all organisms are made up of cells, and they are very tiny and they are arranged in billions and trillions in number. So if you see here, this is an analogy where you can see that there is a wall which is made up of bricks. So they are laid one over the other, just like the cells. Cells are also, they are laid one over the other to make the organism. So do all organisms have the same size of cells, or do all organisms have different size of cells? We are going to learn them further. So before this, as the invention of the magnifying lenses started, this led to discovery of seeing the things very microscopically. It means that we are going to see the things, very small things also under the microscope. The highly advanced microscope that we have now is electron microscope, and this electron microscope helps in seeing the things, very tiny things. So it is most advanced microscope. Even it helps to see the things like virus. We can see under this electron microscope.